liberty and justice for all.
Brent, do you want to lead us in a prayer?
Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Lord Jesus, watch over us tonight in this Monday night meeting. I ask you to pray for everyone that they provide their wishes tonight, and that everybody gets along, and that we all praise Jesus Christ for the second coming. We ask this in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, clerk, you want to call the roll?
Sure. Trustee Shake. Here. Trustee Clausen.
Here.
Trustee Bonomo.
Here.
Supervisor Ballage.
Here. We have a quorum. Public comments?
Yes. Give me 1 second. Oh, thank you.
Oh, you might want to say, how's that?
And Mike?
Let me just get my away. Sorry. All right, our first public comment is from Ken Marson.
Good evening, Supervisor Ballage, trustees. I have a question on last week's supervisor's report. There's a woman here, I believe, from grant staff, or she gave a presentation with regards to grant writing. Was that the name of the company, grant staff?
I think so.
Okay.
I can't say for sure.
Okay. What?
If you look at the last minutes, it's on.
Start going back, nothing against you, Ken, but.
But I'm just asking the question.
Yeah, I'll address it later on.
Okay.
But I don't want to start where we have people come up and start, you know, we had that problem where we, not with you necessarily, but.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, there's a reason for it, and I'll explain it.
Okay, because I also see on today's line item, there is a proposal for an $8,000 CDL for, I believe, Mr. Shake, which for...
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, okay. Because I'm just wondering if we could just contract that out as well, instead of paying $8,000 for 2 CDL licenses. So I don't know if that's something our friend could look at, if that could be done.
When we get in the meeting, I'll explain all that. It's good, it's easy to understand once I do, but I don't want to, like I said, get into a habit of where we're discussing stuff in open forum with everybody, because last time we did that, we ended up having a nightmare.
Okay, okay.
But we will explain everything.
Okay, those were, just because there was no back and forth last week with this lady who gave the presentation. So I have no one asked what the cost is, what the terms are, nothing, no one. So I had no idea whether they were coming on board, if they weren't. And then to pay another $3,000, you know, there were a lot of questions that were never answered. So, okay, thank you.
Okay, our next speaker is Ellen Moriarty.
I recently sent a letter to the PAC with the Attorney General's office, and I'm going to read that for everybody. I recently requested via FOIA a comprehensive list of information pertinent to the surprise hiring of a Homer Township civic employee. The response I got does not address any of the items I asked for, nor does it explain why they were not given to me. I've been a resident of Homer Township for 31 years, and the Township Board was always compliant with public job postings and hiring via board approval through public agenda at public meetings. Our township is downsizing, no longer caring for parks or roads, and the unannounced hiring of a full-time employee to an unposted job demands answers from the taxpayers. This person's name, James Shake, just appeared as receiving a payroll check in June 2023, and all payrolls since. Thus my inquiry. I also cannot leave out two other related facts about Mr. Shake. One, he is a recently appointed by Chairman Ballas partisan committeeman. And two, his wife, Angel Shake, has recently been appointed at will by Supervisor Ballich and board to 2 elected township positions in rapid succession. These appointments are not in question. Procedure was followed. But the full-time job that was suddenly opened for Trustee Shake's husband, James, is being questioned. I know that I am the second constituent that has requested information about this job hire, and I know that the first received the same response from the township. You were contacted on that response also, but you declined to open a case based on rhetorical questions. Forgive me if I am not describing it correctly. The reason I know this is because at the September 11th, 2023 Township Board meeting, the clerk, Vicki Bozen, took great pains and time to read out loud your response to the PAC request for review. To summarize, I want to know what job Mr. Shake was hired for, when it was publicly posted, if he was an hourly or salary employee, and the benefits awarded, and all timesheets if applicable. I did not get an answer to any one of those
15 seconds.
questions, and that is what I'm asking you to review. So, and in light of today, you're now going to rubber stamp his approval for $8,000 to, get his FOIA.
Time is
or
up.
his,
We're
Thank
out
you,
of
Ellen.
time, please sit down.
yeah. That's true.
Jessica Barnes.
All right, this is kind of an impromptu meeting in my mind because I didn't realize that there was a switch to tonight. So I'm just going to roll with it and do the best I can. But there's a few things that I would like to address. The first thing is the holiday displays that are on the agenda tonight. I came into the office on Friday. I asked at the front desk if I could have an application to please apply because I'd like to provide a holiday display. Everyone just didn't really know what I meant, had no idea what to do or how to find, or, I looked on the website, couldn't really find much of it on there. And then I emailed you Friday, like, hi, I would like, some interest in this. And then you answered me back this morning saying that it'll be on tonight's, meeting agenda. So I really have a hard time believing that it's a coincidence that it's on tonight's agenda when you've had the entire year, season, whatever, to set forth the parameters of what the holiday displays are going to be. And the minute I walk into the office and make an inquiry, suddenly it's on the agenda. So I am looking forward to answers on that. Also, Steve, you said that you're going to talk about the CDL licenses for James Shake and the other person. $8,000 seems like a really high amount of money to me for that, so hopefully you could explain why. I just don't understand it. Hopefully you can provide some clarity, but it seems like an awful lot of money for something. It really, really does. And the last thing, I'm sure you'll talk about this too, but I see a blurb on the agenda tonight for something about immigration. And being again that this was kind of a surprise change in meeting date to me, I didn't see much public notice given on it. I don't know what you're about to say or what y'all are about to propose in regards to whatever this immigration thing is that you're about to say. But I have a feeling, I could be wrong, but if it's anything similar to the thing that happened a couple years back with the symbolic sanctuary from abortion thing,
30 seconds.
just know that myself and many residents do not support those ideologies. I don't know if your monopolized board ever considers that most of the residents of Homer Glen are not just Republicans. We have centralists, we have Democrats, we have progressives. We feel that we are not
10 seconds.
represented in this board whatsoever. Dissolve the township.
All right, thank you, Jessica. Karen Ward. Karen?
I'm in the same situation everybody else was. I just found out about the meeting, so I'm not too prepared. And what I have to say, I've said before, so it's old news. But all I'm asking is that you guys try, and I said this probably your second or third meeting after you got elected, about communication, and I said I even offered to help if you need any help, because all of us that have been up here tonight pretty much said something similar, which is, we don't know what's going on. I try, everybody's busy, everybody works, they have kids. I can barely keep up, and I like it, and I like my community, and I like most of you. What I don't like is the communication, and I'm just asking you to try to do better. You don't need a PR firm. I know that Brent and Vicky and maybe not Steve, but maybe not, but Mike and Jay are perfectly capable of putting together some sort of weekly or whenever you need it, monthly newsletter on the website to just keep us up to date with what's going on. Because I had the same problem that some of these people do, which is we come to the meeting, there's a line and I'm like, where the heck did this come from? I don't know what it is, I don't know how we got there, I know we weren't surveyed. All I know is it doesn't sound right. And then you don't discuss it, you just vote on it. So even and I'm trying really hard to make sure that everybody works together, and as an admin on Village Square, start calling each other names. I pull it off as soon as I can, and some of you I'll contact behind the scenes and say, hey, can you explain this? Or, I hate to see the divisiveness in this community. It's not necessary. Even today I was confused. On the Homer Glen Village Square, there was something about Mr. Shake's CDL, and I'm like, wait a minute, the way it was written, I'm like, another shake? Is this the third one? And we're going to pick, it's just not necessary. So I'm just asking you guys to just think a little harder, because some of you are like, well, probably all of you, I don't know you that well, but are nice people trying to do your job, but it's just not working out too well for a lot of people. That's all I'm asking. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Jay Rhodey. Jay?
Board, residents, as you guys know, I am the vice chair of the Homer Township Republican Organization. I would also like to acknowledge Karen. Me and Karen get along pretty good, but I don't work for the township, so I don't know if I could even do any newsletters for them. But with that being said, some of the outreach that we're starting to do through the HTRO is to get community involvement, and it's not just about pushing a Republican candidate, so to say. So yesterday we had a chili cook-off. We had 4 bars in the area, or I should say bar grills, that were actually in contact, that were actually all wanted to host us. Front Row did a great job. We had about...
Is this electioneering?
No, we had about 78 people. We had about 78 people, and it was community. We had some Democrats. It was more about just community involvement. With that being said, Christmas is upon us. And on December 16th, we're having a blood drive, and it's open to everybody in the community that wants to give back. So anybody that wants to help, because right now they're saying that the hospitals, a lot of care clinics, they really need blood. So I just came here to tell you guys about this. I'll leave a couple of flyers. Again, it's even though we're hosting it at the HTRO, it is a nonpartisan event because anybody can give blood to help people. So thank you very much. That's why I was here tonight.
Okay, that concludes the public comment
Okay,
portion.
we'll move on to Clerk Rosen's report.
Just can you give me 1 second just to... get myself organized here for 1 second. Okay, thanks for waiting. All right, first I have a motion, or I'd like a motion to approve the October 16th, 2023 monthly Township Board meeting minutes.
I'll start the motion.
Second.
Any comments? Okay, I'll take, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? All right, motion passes. All right, I don't have anything on FOIA reports right now. Homer Township monthly meeting schedule. I noticed 2 people mentioned something about the meeting schedule, something about it being impromptu. We do publish it beginning of every year. It's on our website. So if anybody, questions why we're having a meeting when or whatever, it's there in black and white. It's posted right away in January. So I'm sorry if some people did not know the meeting was happening, but that is posted in January. So.
Is it visible in Democrats and Independents?
You know what? Good one. So anyways, on that note, if you look in your packet, I do have the 2024, so did I say 2024? Yes, 2024 meeting schedule.
And who looks in their packet?
I know, right? And the only thing that's different is, so in April, we're going to have a meeting on Tuesday because that's the annual town hall meeting. And a couple other dates are changed because of national holidays. So the holidays are, approved every year or updated every year, changed. So otherwise, normally we are on Monday meetings. So does anybody have any questions on this?
No.
Okay, I'd like
Thanks for the
to,
update.
if I can get approval for the minutes and motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
Okay. And all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, motion passes, thank you. Next, I have, so last month we had approved a tentative levy. And this month, we need to approve the actual levy for the township and for the highway department. So I'd like to, if anybody has any questions, first of all, if not, I would need a motion to approve the 2023 levy for the town fund, general assistance fund, park fund, and debt service.
I'll start that motion.
And I will take a roll call for this. Trustee Shake.
Yes.
Trustee Clausen.
Yes.
Trustee Bonomo.
Yes.
Supervisor Ballage.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. And then the next levy is the motion to approve the 2023 levy for the road and bridge fund and the building and equipment fund. If I can please get a motion, I don't know if there's any comments on that.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, I'll take a roll call. Trustee Bonomo.
Yes.
Trustee Shake. Yes. Trustee Clausen.
Yes.
Supervisor Ballage.
Yes.
All right, motion passes, thank you.
I'd like to make some comments on DI.
I'm sorry?
DI.
DI? Oh, okay,
With the
yes.
motion for the levy and all.
Yes.
First of all, to congratulate Brent on his hard work in lowering the levy every year he's been in office. I know there's questions on reduction of mileage, this and that, but he's taken the steps and he's reduced it each year. And he has a professional operation, there's no doubt about it, high class. And in regards to, can we have order, please?
I'm sorry.
Show some order,
My lips are
at least some respect. And the other thing too, in terms of what is done behind the scenes with, with Founders Crossing, with Angel and Mike taking the helm and making sure we're spending money right, we're saving money right. But there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes on that people aren't paid for, that do their job to make sure the township is running properly. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Mike. All right, and then, so in addition, sorry, the next one is 5E is a transfer. Since we have been doing numerous block grants, we have exceeded our published legal notice fund. So now we're going to be doing a couple more. Our budget goes till April 1st. So we are asking to transfer $5,000 from contingencies to open space, budget open space fund, to be able to continue to post, or I should say, publish legal notices, sorry, not post, but publish legal notices. So if I could get a, hold on one second, sorry, if I get a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
And I will take a roll call. Trustee Shake?
Yes.
Trustee Bonomo?
Yes.
Trustee Clausen?
Yes.
Supervisor Ballage?
Yes.
Okay. And then on the next one, which is the, oh, you know what, I'm sorry, I did this out of order. The first one I did was the open space anyways, to go back to I, because I did, one, is the block grant CDBG. I apologize. This is the one for $328,000. So what happened was, when they just did Lockport Heights, they went over budget by $328,000. So instead of Lockport Heights paying directly to the person who did the work, they paid us. So essentially that came into our revenues, and now we have to expend it out. So that's why we have this transfer, just to explain that we're not, raising taxes, or we didn't go over budget. It's just for that reason. So I would like entertain a motion for that, if someone be willing to.
I'll start it. I'll start the motion.
Second.
Okay, and I will do a roll call. Trustee Clausen,
Yes.
trustee Bonomo.
Yes.
Trustee Shake,
Yes.
and Supervisor College.
Yes.
Okay, as for the holiday display program, everyone in their packet has not only the parameters for the display program, but also the facility use request form. If you want to take a minute to look at that, if you haven't already done it. And basically what we're going to do this year, because the township now has been newly landscaped with new sod, we will not be putting any displays on our new landscaping or on our new sod. All the displays will be going to the east parking lot, east of the parking lot there, where the big Christmas tree is, which will be nice because the guys are going to be putting the lights on the Christmas tree anyways. So it'll look really pretty over there, I think. So does anybody have any questions on the holiday display program?
No.
Okay. Can I get a motion to accept the new parameters for the holiday display program?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay. And all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, motion passes. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the supervisor's report, and just so everybody is aware, the levy, the township and the road district both froze the levy again. So this will be the third time now that you're gonna see a tax decrease, because new construction, there's quite a bit of it this year. The way the new state law goes, you can have the CPI and add the new construction to the CPI if you want, and they don't count that as part of P-TEL notice. So that means the 5% limit. That's how like the high schools and grade schools go over 5% now, because they add the new construction to it. And that's whatever. I just want to let everybody know, we didn't do that. We froze it, same as it was last year, the same as it was the year before. And the year before that, it was cut drastically. It was cut 20%. So by not raising it at all and not taking the new construction, you're going to see from the township side and the road district side a cut in the taxes. And that's something real important to remember, because we keep tell you all the time, we're not raising taxes unless we have no other friggin' choice. And then next thing we have is a motion to approve the maintenance department to assist the road district as needed. And what's going on there is that Homer Township Road District had hired out the Village of Homer Glen to do some of the roads if they needed them. It was on an as-need basis. And I talked with Road Commissioner Porfilio, and we came up with a solution that we keep just what we're doing now, and that if we have a problem where we need an extra driver or something for a big snow, we're going to use our maintenance, two of our maintenance guys. That's when the question that you brought up, Ken, came. We're sending them to truck school so they can get their B license and they can drive a snowplow. So instead of going out and hiring somebody, another employee, we're using what we have. So Sean and Jim will get their CDLs for B license, and when we need them at the road district, they can go to the road district. And the road district already comes and helps us when we need help. And all this is an effort that you're going to see in the rest of this stuff, is that we're eliminating any kind of dealings with the village of Homer Glen. They don't want to work with us, they want us out of the township. So we're removing they want us removed from Homer Glen. It's been said over and over at the village meetings that they want to remove Homer Township from Homer Glen. Well, Homer Township understands what they're saying, we're not dumb, we get it. So we are removing ourselves from Homer Glen. So there's a bunch of stuff going on when we're following these agendas, and that's what it is. We're changing the way we operate so that we can operate without raising taxes next year. And I'm sure most of the people, I mean, I get it, there's some people who have an ideology of bigger government, more taxes, that's better. But majority of people in Homer Township don't want to see their tax bill go up because they can't afford it. So anyway, that's what that's about. So you're going to see some other ones. So do I get a motion to approve having the Township Maintenance Department assist the road district as needed?
I'll start that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, I will take a roll call. Trustee Bonomo?
Yes.
Trustee Clausen?
Yes.
Trustee Shake?
Yes.
Supervisor Ballage?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you.
The next, there's a discussion, it was sent to the Village of Homer Glen to remove Homer Township property from the Village of Homer Glen and take it back as unincorporated property. Mike, do you want to read that for us? Yeah, Mike Clausen.
No problem.
Thank you.
Intergovernmental agreement between Homer Township and the Village of Homer Glen for the disconnection of property owned by Homer Township currently within the jurisdiction of the Village of Homer Glen. This agreement dated this third day of November 2023 is made by and between Homer Township, herein referred to as Township, and the Village of Homer Glen, hereinafter referred to as Village, collectively parties or individual party. Whereas Township is a unit of local government within Will County, organized and existing under the laws of the state of Illinois, and whereas Village is a unit of local government within Will County, organized and existing under the laws of the state of Illinois. Whereas Article 7, Section 10 of the 1970 Constitution of the state of Illinois authorizes units of local government, including villages and township, to cooperate with each other and in order to accomplish common goals and objectives, and to contract to exercise, combine, or transfer any power or function not prohibited to them by law or ordinance. And whereas the Illinois Governmental Cooperation Act 5 ILCS 220/1 authorizes units of local government to exercise jointly any powers, privilege, or authority that may be exercised by a unit of local government individually, and to enter into contracts for the performance of government services, activities, undertakings, and whereas Village has jurisdictional control over properties owned by Township as contained in Exhibit A to this agreement, hereinafter referred to as properties, and whereas Village is interested in ending its jurisdiction over the properties for those benefit of the taxpayers and residents of the village, and believes Township control will further those goals. And whereas Township agrees that Township control is in the best interest of the goals of the taxpayers and residents of Township, and believes the Township control will further those goals. And whereas Village believes that disconnection of properties is an proper means in ending its jurisdiction over the properties. And whereas Township agrees that disconnection of properties is in the proper means of ending Village jurisdiction over properties. And whereas Village and Township have set forth herein terms and conditions of their agreement in this agreement, and have duly authorized the respective presiding officers to enter into an executive agreement. And whereas acknowledged and agreed that the individuals who are members of the group constituting the corporation, the corporate authorities of Township and Village, are entering into this agreement in their corporate capacities as members of such groups, shall have no personal liability of their own individual capacities. Now therefore, in consideration of the foregoing and the mutual promises and obligations expressed herein, and other good valuable considerations, the sufficiency and adequacy and the receipt of which are hereby acknowledged. It is hereby agreed that by parties, excuse me, it is hereby agreed by and between the parties as follows. Section 1, incorporation of reticles. The parties agree that the reticles have been incorporated by reference into the rest of the agreement as if fully set forth herein. Section 2, village responsibilities. Within 30 days of execution of this agreement, the village shall consider, adopt, and execute any and all required ordinances, resolutions, and other documents required by law to be considered, adopted, and executed to further terms of this agreement, and to effectuate the disconnection of the properties listed, referred to, referenced in Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and incorporated herein. Within 30 days of consideration, adoption, and execution of any and all required ordinances, resolutions, and any other documents, village shall submit such required ordinances, resolutions, and any other documents to Will County to effectuate the disconnection referenced herein. Excuse me a second.
Michael, thank you for reading it, because I'd have a heck of a time right now. I'm getting out.
Section 3, township responsibilities. Within 30 days of execution of this agreement, the township shall consider, adopt, and execute any required ordinances, resolutions, and any other documents required by law to be considered, adopted, and executed, if any are so required, to further the terms of this agreement and to effectuate the disconnection of the properties listed and referenced in Exhibit A. The parties shall, excuse me, Section 4, the parties shall ensure, indemnify, defend, and hold harmless the other party and their members, their respective officers, employees, and agents from and against all liabilities, actions, damages, claims, demands, judgments, losses, costs, expenses, suits, or actions, and reasonable attorney fees, and defend, indemnify parties in any suit, including appeals for personal injury to or death of any person or persons of, for loss or damage to property resulting from its negligence, including the execution and performance of this agreement. Section 5. Nothing in this agreement shall be interpreted to waive any immunities or privileges provided to the township as a unit of local government under Illinois statutory or common law. Such privileges and immunities being specifically reserved by the township. Section 6. Nothing in this agreement shall be interpreted to waive any immunities or privileges provided to the village as a unit of local government under Illinois statutory or common law. Such privileges, immunities, being specifically reserved by the village. Section 7. This agreement contains the entire understanding that the parties with respect to the subject matter hereof and all prior or contemporaneous agreements, understanding, representations, and statements, oral, written, and merged herein. The agreement may be modified by written instrument executed by the parties. Section 8. No consent or waiver expressed or implied as to any provisions of this agreement shall constitute a consent or waiver of any other provisions, whether similar or dissimilar, of this agreement. Section 9. If any provision, clause, word, designation of this agreement is held to be invalid by any court or of competent jurisdiction, such provision, clause, word, or designation shall be deemed to be excised from this agreement, and the invalidity thereof shall not affect any other provision, clause, word, designation contained herein. Section 10. Termination. This agreement shall be effective and continued until terminated by either party upon 90 days written notice to the other. Section 12. Notices to the parties shall be in writing and delivered to the parties at the following addresses. If to the Township, Stephen Ballich, Supervisor, 1430 West 151st Street, Homer Glen, Illinois, 60491. Phone number 708-301-0522, fax number 708-301-7043. Email at office@homertownship.com. If to the village, the mayor of Homer Glen's address. If either party may change the address for the notices to such party which by written notice to the other. Notice given by personal or email service shall be effective upon the date of delivery. Notice given by mail shall be effective on the third business day after posting. In witness thereof, the parties have executed this agreement pursuant to the ordinances or resolutions adopted by proper authorities of the respective parties.
You don't need to read that. Thank you, Mike. We've already voted to do this 2 meetings ago. We talked about it for quite a few meetings, but in light of the Village of Homer Glen finally, voting to do a referendum to eliminate the township, our board felt it necessary to move forward with just taking whatever is ours out of the village, and they go their way, we go our way, and everybody hopefully can get along. And that's a real important thing. But I don't know if it'll happen, because I don't know if they're going to want to withdraw their vote to dissolve the township. But the township is not going to stand idly by and let the village just roll over us. Especially when people in this township can be hurt really bad by the elimination of this township. Because the cost that we operate on is so much lower than the village. It's so much lower than the county. Nobody can do what we do for the same cost that we do. That's one thing. The other thing is, like with Hadley Road, The county wants to make it wider, make it so that trucks can go down there. The village wanted the same thing. If it wasn't for the township standing up for the people in that area, they'd have nobody. They'd have to rely on hiring an attorney for themselves. And the way I look at it is, if they're gonna do something like that on Hadley Road, they could do it on 151st Street, they could go down Cream Road, Cedar Road, you could name wherever they wanna go. And that's just one example of how the township stands up and fights for the citizens here so that nothing's gonna happen. And I really don't know what the outcome's gonna be on Hadley Road. But we're not gonna stand by and let it happen that a truck route goes in there. Or and they're not saying that, they're saying to widen the road and then fortify the road so you can have 80,000 pounds on it. That means a truck route, even though you don't use that term. So I hope when the referendum comes, I hope everybody in the room, which I know there's a couple people that are just so hateful that they'd rather die than do anything that would help the township. But you know what? That's on you. But the township really needs to continue. And we're not going to give up, and we're going to continue. So I ain't going to say much more about that. And now we need a motion to approve the CDL training class for Sean Reardon and Jimmy Shake, not to exceed the cost of $8,000. That's $4,000 each, and we think it might be less, but through JJC, but we're not sure. So that's just a maximum. So I need a motion to move forward on that.
I'll start that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, I'll take a roll call. Trustee Clausen,
Yes.
trustee Shake,
Abstain.
trustee Bonomo,
Yes.
supervisor Ballich?
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Thank you.
Okay, we need a
Point of
mo-
order, you've only got two. There's four trustees.
Well,
Yes.
I said,
Supervisors votes on the township board.
Yeah, I
Votes on
said
every,
I
votes
just
on every
asked him.
question.
I vote on every question.
So they have a majority. 3 out of 5. It's not the same
did
as
I,
the village.
did I not say supervisor Ballich? Or?
Yeah, I
I
said,
believe he
Oh,
did.
okay, I thought maybe I didn't say it, so.
I don't believe he understood that the supervisor votes on all questions before the township board.
okay. Motion to approve WebEx fleet account for the township maintenance department to fuel the vehicles. That's, the township's gonna get a credit card for the maintenance workers so that we don't fill up with the village fuel anymore. And at times it's less than it costs at the gas stations, and other times it's about the same. But we need to move away from the village, so this is just another example of us taking care of ourselves. So I need a motion to approve the WebEx fleet account.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, I'll take a roll call. Trustee Shake,
Yes.
trustee Bonomo,
Yes.
trustee Clausen,
Yes.
supervisor Ballich.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Okay, next, we have a motion to, we need a motion to approve resolution HT 203-1106-RES1, establishing policy for immigration law and enforcement of such laws with regard to safety and security for our residents of Homer Township. Mike Bonomo, do you want to read that for us?
Yeah, I'll read it, sure. A resolution establishing policy for immigration law and the enforcement of such laws with regards of safety and security for the residents of Homer Township. Whereas we believe in the rule of law, including immigration law, and whereas refusing to enforce immigration law jeopardizes the safety of and imposes financial burdens on our residents, and further is unfair to those seeking legal entry into America. And whereas refusing to enforce immigration laws is empowering drug cartels and victimizing women and children, many of whom have been exploited or killed while journeying to America. And whereas the federal government admitted it does not know the location or in whose care, if anyone's are some 85,000 unaccompanied minors granted entrance into America. And whereas the federal government admitted it does not know the location of several individuals on its terrorist watch list, granted entrance into America. And whereas many of the migrants who've been allowed to enter America have not filed asylum applications and therefore have no moral rights to be here. And whereas persons seeking entrance into America are not American citizens or legal residents and therefore are not entitled to the same benefits. And whereas Homer Township has limited taxpayer resources, we are obligated to use in the services of those individuals, our lawful constituents. And now therefore, be it resolved, Homer Township will not accept nor provide taxpayer-funded services to migrants, and we shall return any individuals sent our way by elected officials from sanctuary states or cities to them, so that they may live their values just as we live ours, the difference being ours are consistent with the rule of law.
Okay, we have a motion to approve that?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Call roll.
Roll call. Trustee Bonomo?
Yes.
Trustee Clausen?
Yes.
Trustee Shake?
Yes.
Supervisor Balloch?
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Thank you.
Okay, lastly, on my report, we need a motion to approve a parade in the unincorporated area of Homer Township. I would say if we want to discuss a little bit, or we just wait till we decide when and where, but we're going to start doing the parade like we always did, except it will no longer be in conjunction with Homerfest, and it won't be done on any Homer Glen streets, so that we don't need to get permits, because they won't give it to us anyway. So we're going to do it in unincorporated, and I need a motion to move forward with that.
I'll start the motion.
I'll second.
We'll take a roll call. Trustee Shake?
Yes.
Trustee Bonomo?
Yes.
Trustee Clausen?
Yes.
Supervisor Balloch?
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Thank
Okay,
you.
now it's Highway Commissioner Porbilio.
Yeah, a number of items to cover. I want to talk about the CDL training class for a minute and give my thoughts on it. You like to have at least one standby person for snow. Last year, we had the Village of Homer Glen help out with, I believe, 3 of the snow events by plowing, and that's it, because we didn't have a person on reserve with a CDL. And we're not going to hire another employee and pay labor and benefits and everything else for the person to twiddle their thumbs so we can use them for a third plow driver. We're not going to do that. And Homer Glen does not take care of 8 miles of my streets. What the mayor was thinking when she said that. We take care of all of our 19 miles. But we need a person on reserve with a CDL. It's always good to have at least one person with that training. So it's $4,000 per training class at JJC per person. And the thing is, the labor costs for plowing are absorbed by the township as a regular salary for the people that are going to the class, instead of having to pay somebody else to do the work. So that's the CDL training. Let's see, what else we got? Oh, I did want to talk about plow routes. I don't know if people know the thought process behind how we plow and everything else, but the way it works with the road district, I don't know how the public works at Homer Glen does it, but we try to get a cycle of 2.5 to 3 hours for every snow event. We want to have all of our drivers be able to take care of all 19 miles every 3 hours. Today I did a dry run with my guys, and it came out to be 2 hours and 10 minutes. And then if you had another half an hour for having to reload for salt, we're at about 2 hours and 36 minutes, which is well under the 3 hour benchmark that I set. However, in heavy snows, sometimes we want to get a little faster than that and maybe go to a 2 hour cycle time. So in those situations, we would need to go to Mr. Shake or Mr. Reardon to drive the third plow. And by the way, we do have a third vehicle with a salt spreader and a plow that is ready for the third driver. We do not have to buy any new equipment or anything like that. that's another reason why we're not going to Homer Glen anymore for anything. And that's the end of that discussion. Okay, Smith Road Bridge. This is a long-term project. I mention at every meeting. The bridge replacement is in the millions, but because of IDOT's bridge program, we are able to defray the costs to only 20% of the engineering and construction rather than 100%. However, there's a trade-off with that. It takes 2 to 3 years to get the engineering done and the construction when you go that route. As I've said before, that's a 3-way agreement we have with Lockport Township Road District and the City of Lockport to split costs of that 20%. I'm having a meeting with the structural engineers from Christopher Burke and with the lead bridge inspector to review their findings on the initial bridge inspection to see if we need temporary shoring to get us through the next 2 to 3 winters. Make sure we're not going to be, it's Swiss cheese already, that deck, and I'm very worried about it collapsing. So that's item A. Item B, the 2024 road paving program. 2023 is complete, and the contractor did a great job this year. I'm going to be assessing all of the road district roadways in the next 2 weeks, and I'm going to come up with the streets that are going to be improved for 2024. We're looking at a couple of the subdivisions. I know Lockport Heights, we did half of Lockport Heights a couple of years ago. This year we did some of our arterial roadways. So I'm going to come up, hopefully by the next meeting, I'll be able to have a short list of the streets that we're going to be doing next year. The roadway lighting program, we had a lot of supply issues from our winning contractor. He went to a second vendor to try to get things stepped up. He was not successful, so we're still waiting for the materials that we ordered months ago. That's item C. Item D, the Homer Township Highway Commissioners Grant, the special needs grant for $5,000, and we did get a couple of applications. I'd like to keep the application window open another month. I did speak with another gentleman today that's involved with the Navarro Farm in Frankfurt, where they have special needs children that work there full-time, and they're looking to expand that to have an on-site living quarters for special needs kids, which is awesome. But I spoke with him about that, and I'd like to discuss that with Ms. Shea about the possibilities of us getting involved with that and helping out with that. Item E, the Muslim Ummah Cemetery over on Meter Road. There were a number of deficiencies in their driveway that I brought up months ago. They're finally fixing it. They're supposed to be done this month with those deficiencies and correcting them. Once they do that, the site access permit I gave them at the beginning of the year will expire. Then item F, we've got snow already. It melted, of course, and there wasn't an issue with needing to put down salt or anything like that because of the temperature of the ground, but you know, snow and ice is coming, it's upon us. So we are prepared. We have our 3 trucks ready. We have a reserve truck. We have 300 tons of blended salt on order, and we also have another 50 tons on reserve from last year. So we are ready to go. And that's everything that I have.
Thank you, Brent. We have no report from Assessor Morella. And now we're going to go to the committee and trustee reports. The first one, Senior Task Force, Mike Bonomo.
Well, I'd just like to point out, you know, we continue to, put together programs for the seniors, mainly the bingo. We are planning a senior Christmas party at Crystal Grand Banquets in Lamont. And right now, our list is up to how many people?
I think about 140.
We have 140 people already signed up for the Christmas party, which will be held on December
12th.
12th at noon. And the capacity is over 300, and my goal is to get as close to 300 as possible. The banquet has been more overly generous and given us a package that's going to allow very minimal out-of-pocket cost to run the event. With all the volunteers and participation, I mean, you can't ask for a better group of people to put this plan together. We did it last year at Taza's, and we had to turn people away after 130. And so our goal this year is to not to turn anybody away, and to make sure that they have a good time. Between myself, Cindy Laha, Angel, Patty, Vicky, Jim, Jay, most of the group, we put things together and make sure that the seniors are treated with respect and they have a good time. And I think we've accomplished that goal. We usually average about 100 people at the senior bingo every month. We do senior bunko, we do senior yoga, and our plan is next year to expand more programs for the seniors. So with that being said, just looking forward to moving forward with the seniors and giving them more programs to work with. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the Special Needs Committee. We have Angel Shake and Brent Porfilio and Mike Gondak on that one. Any of you guys have anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, a few things. I'd like to thank Mike again. The process has been a lot easier now with the online applications for the grant. And like I said, we got a couple of people already that they have put their names on there, and there's more supposedly coming, so that's a good thing. And I would like to, like I said about this Navarro Farms, I would like to see what they're all about and meet with the gentleman that I spoke with today to expose them for all the Homer Township special needs adults that may be looking for a job or looking down the road for a permanent residence. It's a working farm, I guess, and people there that work full-time. So that's something I would like to look into.
And you were referring to Mike Gondak.
Terry.
Oh, you're talking about Terry. I'm saying when you said Mike.
Mike, yeah, there's 3 Mikes.
Yeah, so you got
There's 4 Mikes, Jesus.
we got to specify the last name.
Yes.
But yeah, Terry Germany, that's the person.
So Brett, I'm assuming, from hearing about this a little bit before, because when we were looking into it, they're going to have something similar on a smaller scale, I think, to like a Lamb's Farm. That's what they're kind of basing it on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So that would be really nice if
It's
we
a
had
great
talked
thing.
about wanting to bring something
Yeah.
like this.
Finding jobs for
Yes.
adults with special needs is very important. Their parents aren't going to live forever.
Right.
They need a support system. That's how it's got to work. And this is permanent living, assisted living on site.
Right.
So that's a good
Perfect.
thing. But we got to talk
Yep.
about that, okay? That's all I got.
Okay. Angel, do you have any, or you said it all? And you
No,
said-
no,
Okay.
I got something for the next one. Go ahead.
Resource Management Task Force, that's all the trustees. When you have something on?
No, actually, keep going. I'm
Okay,
down a
well,
little.
because I was going to say, we don't have much on that, I didn't hear anything. All right, the Land Use Committee, we don't have anything on that. Our Land Use Committee is for it's basically a plan commission. What we do, the county sends us over different things that are up in Homer Township, and if we like them, then we tell them okay, and if we don't, we tell them no. But we haven't had any recently, so there's nothing there. And then the Founders Crossing Task Force is Angel Shake and Mike Clausen. So you guys got some stuff you guys want to talk about?
You just talked for about 30 minutes.
Yeah, so Founders Crossing, the exterior repairs, they've been working on the first unit, testing some things out, so that started. Meanwhile, interior, our guys did the fall maintenance, and they just finished that up. So now we are kind of going through and going unit by unit. When somebody needs anything, they invite us in, we go through, and we've been kind of running into some things where we're trying to check just to make sure that everything is in good working order, that everything is safe, up to par. And so we're starting to do a little bit more work where we're replacing some things in individual units as needed. We did get magnets made, new fridge magnets. They're like half the size of this sheet of paper, so they're bigger and easier for them to read. They will all be getting those as the guys are going in to do work there, and they have all our numbers, and now the people know that if they need anything at Founders, they've been calling, and it's been good. So everybody seems to be happy with their living situations there, so that's about it.
Angel, do you mind if I chime in, only because I don't know if you wanted to talk about the CDBG grant that's actually funding this exterior work.
Yes, so
that
the
we-
exterior work, I apologize, is from the CBDG grant. That was already, we started getting that money.
We started getting that money, yeah.
Right, so that's White,
Well, that's from Will County.
right,
But, yeah,
but,
It's-
right.
Will
The grant
County,
from, right.
basically, that, yeah, so,
So they started doing that work on the exterior. We got the grant funding for that, so that's what's being done. The township is, and then our guys are doing the inside maintenance. But exterior company is doing the.
right, the exterior right now
is
is
doing the exterior through the grant,
through the
right?
grant, the CDBG, right. Grant.
Okay, is there any other trustee reports?
Sorry, Steve, if I could just address Mr. Marson about the grant funding you had mentioned. So when we hired the grant staffing, they're going to be specifically doing one type of grant work for us. And what I plan on doing is going further into other type of grants that they would not be doing for us. So that's the reason, that's the difference between hiring them and me getting the schooling for this grant writing opportunity, okay?
So what would they be doing then? What?
They're specifically looking for Trantina and stuff. We're gonna be doing it for Trantina. And we're only hiring them for a certain amount of hours. And the other grant writing that I will be doing is more extensive for other projects that we need to do. Some interior stuff for founders, other grants that maybe they don't have access to that we can possibly pursue. So it's like almost two different things that we're working on at the same time.
I'm not trying to be ignorant here, but I don't understand why.
Well, we can talk about it later. If you have a
Okay.
question, you could always call me. But I just wanted to address, because I forgot to do that, and then when we mentioned the grant, I just wanted to address that, okay? If you have any questions, you can call me at the office, so.
I could just tell you that on the county, we have to deal with a lot of grants. I'm on both the CBG board and on the ARPA board, that's American Rescue Plan. And so I see all that stuff. And then there's people that can't get that money because they don't qualify through the federal government. It's real difficult. So we're hiring a grant writer so we can get moving on that civic center. And the thing with the grant writer, they go after, I told them, don't go after any of the HUD dollars, federal government money, because it'll take too long. We have to have it completed by a completion date. And that's in the guidelines of the grant. And we'll never get it completed if we don't concentrate on like foundations and other places, businesses. So they're gonna go on that thing, and then we have Clerk Boson, who's going to be taking a class so that when that grant writer is gone, she can go and she could start writing grants. And we'll, or at least try to, because obviously when you're new at something, you're not gonna be a star. But down the road, you can be a star. You have to start somewhere. So we got Clerk Boson doing it. She's going to be working with Angel Shake. And I don't see a problem with it because I'm thinking that they're going to be able to find money that we were unable to get between what they're doing and what the grant writer is doing. We should be very successful. And I say should because I'm not God. Nobody knows what's going to happen. But if you just sit on your butt and you don't do nothing, then you get nothing. So you have to go out and work at it. It's like anything. So I'm really excited about the grant writer, but that's expensive. These are people that work here, and that's a trustee. We don't got to pay them extra money to do it. But they certainly don't know how to do it without going to classes to learn. And so that's what this is all about. And I think it's a great thing. maybe some people don't, but that's life, right? Okay, is there any other trustee reports?
Real quick, what is the cost for the grant writer? That was never brought
We
up.
did-
I think it should be in the minute, let me just see if it's in the minute. Hold on, sorry. I
I
thought
thought it was 5,000. Start.
Is it 5,000 per grant? Is it
No,
5,000?
no, they don't do it like that.
Hold
When you
on.
get a professional writer, they
Let me
don't get,
just see. Is it in
they
the
don't do
minutes?
it like that.
I thought they billed like per hour.
They're professional services, so
Right, I understand that.
they don't,
Contract with professional service.
you know, in other words, they do so many hours and
That's it. Captain contract.
that's it. You got it in there?
Because she had given us 2 proposals, that was the thing. So,
Well, we'll have it next month because she gave us.
yeah, I'm sorry
She
if I
gave
don't.
us, she gave us 2 proposals and then went on
Right.
vacation. So I don't,
Right. Yeah.
I'm not sure
For the contract.
of the cost and I don't want to say the wrong number.
And are we just charged if they get a grant, or if they work on one and
No,
don't get it?
it don't
we
work
still
like
have to
that.
pay?
If they go out and, it's the same people that the Village of Homer Glen hired. It's the exact same person. You know, so, you know, when you hire a grant writer, they may get you, well, let's just like this. This person has a lot of success rates. That's how you hire them. And so this person's good. That's why the village hired them.
Yeah, I think if you listen to the speech last week, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, I think she got over 300 million, I think this year in grants.
Her website said they did like 420 million.
Okay, I'm sorry if it's the wrong
man,
amount, but I
that's a
know
lot
it
of
was a huge amount
But I
that,
don't know if that's this year or.
But anyway,
Yeah,
that's the,
years or whatever.
yeah, but,
Okay.
so it's substantial.
so we'll have more information next month.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And any trustee reports? Mike, no? No?
No.
Okay. Then accounting, I need a motion to approve all payment of bills for October 2023, Founder's Crossing Bond, Founder's Crossing General Assistance, Open Space, Park Developer Contribution, Park Town, Road and Bridge, and Equipment and Building.
I'll start that motion.
I'll second.
All right, I'll take a roll call. Trustee Clausen?
Yes.
Trustee Shake? Yes. Trustee Bonomo?
Yes.
Supervisor Ballard?
Yes.
All right, motion passes, thank you.
Okay, is there any new business? No, no new business? Any old business? No, okay. Well, the only thing we had on there is a micro pantry, but that's every month. So anybody out there that wants to contribute to the micro pantry or else needs food, we got one right on the side of the building here. And we got one over by Billy Maley's hair salon over on Golden Oak Drive. And there's Narcan in them. Hopefully there's still some there because it goes pretty quick. But
And that's for people and for pets, the pet
there's
pantry.
pet food too. So if you've got extra food, please donate. If you don't, you know, whatever. And let's see, we don't need executive session. And can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll start the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passes, thank you. 8:09 p.m.